Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Skippy Racing as we prepare for a 40-minute race around WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna, Seca, outside of Monterey, California. We are proud to broadcast tonight's race with Barefoot Racing over the airwaves of CavOK Racing Network's YouTube and Twitch platforms. Just search for CavOK Racing, that's C-A-V-O-K. As always, feel free to join in on the conversation with your comments. We are tracking both YouTube and Twitch platforms, and when you leave those comments, questions, etc., we will get to them as time permits. Tonight's broadcast is proudly brought to you by Trans-American Airlines. Surely you can't be serious. Tempest Burger. Does that look like spit to you? And special promotional consideration from the Umbrella Corporation, now selling premium suburban homes in Raccoon City starting in the low 200,000s. All right, welcome to the broadcast. We've got a great race in store for you tonight. I'd like to introduce our co-broadcaster, Max. Welcome, Max. How was your weekend?
Good, thank you. I'm excited for this race. Laguna Seca looks like a pretty good track. I know that I might be having a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's okay. I'm overall excited and ready to see how it turns out.
Awesome, me too. This is, I think a lot of drivers are not excited about the track, but I am. I think this is one of the first tracks that you race on. It's one of the free ones on the service. I think a lot of people are familiar with it, and so even those folks who maybe don't race the Skip Barber are gonna be able to understand the turns and what it's like to race on here if they've raced road racing at all on the air racing service. So curious to see how that works out. But also with us tonight, Ian Orrell, thank you very much for being a part of the broadcast as always. You're going to be bringing us that on-track perspective that I think makes part of our broadcast very unique. So welcome, Ian.
Hey guys, great to be with you at sunny Laguna Seca. Looking forward to tonight's race.
Awesome. Well, let us know. We do have a few minutes left in the open practice here. Tonight's qualifying will be closed once again. I confirmed that with the admins. So we'll be doing separate individual qualifying times, which is again a little bit of a departure, but we do have such a showing. We've got 43 drivers currently registered for the race. Our cap is 45, which is a recent limitation that we've added just because of the size of the fields. And on a track like Laguna Seca, trying to do open qualifying with that many people just isn't tenable. So we're going to be doing close qualifying. We do have some practice time left, however, and we would love to get Ian's perspective on the track. When let's see, you are about halfway through. We'll get you on the next time around there, Ian. But this is an 11 turn course. There's a plenty of opportunities to draft. There's plenty of opportunities to lose the race by missing a turn. And I think that's going to be a huge part of tonight. I know that a lot of the drivers just monitoring the Discord were not excited about this evening's race. The track is very difficult. It's difficult in the sense that basically trying to maneuver through traffic becomes very difficult at times, and with this many people in the field, that will eventually become an issue because the track is one of the shorter ones on the circuit. Now, that's going to be great for us as viewers, but very frustrating and difficult for the drivers who are trying to compete tonight.
Yeah.
And it does look like we've got some folks who are turning out that haven't been here in a while. I see Carrington Wilmer has made it for tonight as well. But Max, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Since the track is not as long as other tracks, I'm looking forward to all the nose to gearbox competition, kind of. Yeah.
Awesome, very good. Well, Ian, we're on board with you on your roll cage here, so take it away, kind sir.
Okay, no worries. What I'd like you to do tonight, I want to do this a little bit differently. I want you to actually drop down into the cockpit view.
You got it.
For tonight, and we're going to. What I want to know is, when I move my head, is your view still static or is it moving?
Well, it appears to be static.
Okay, no worries. All right, so what I was going to do tonight, just
I
a
would
bit
like
different.
you to clear your windshield or your windscreen if you can.
How's that?
That may be part of it. Okay, no, go ahead.
There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do a bit different tonight. I'm going to go a little slower than normal, but I'm also going to talk a bit about what it is that I'm thinking about as I'm going around.
Perfect.
So just to give viewers a bit of a different perspective of, rather than just going zooming at the track. So here I am. I'm sitting on the start-finish straight. So I'll set off. And what I'm thinking about right now is that first little kink right underneath the bridge. And I want to be really close to the wall as I go past here. And I want to keep the car on the left-hand side of the track. And I want to be on the left here. And the car is now going to drift out to the right. And I'm looking down at the white line there and then at this corner. And I want to be in third gear when I hit that corner, because it's a double apex corner, third gear going, and I'm accelerating halfway through that corner. And now I'm looking out at the little markers and the white square, and I want to go down and drop in. So I'm just kissing that big sausage curb. And all this is just so I don't drift too wide. Fourth gear here, little turn, little lift, just to get the back to rotate. And the whole thing is about where the weight is in the car. And now I'm coming down here, I'll be going up into fifth. I'm looking at the markers on the right, the little white line breaking down into third. And again, I want to just kiss this curb on the inside and let the car roll out. Now this is the hardest corner on the track. And it looks so innocent. I'm going to slow down. You can't see the corner until you get to about here. And then you can see the sausage curb over there on the right-hand side. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the car to just dig into about there. Otherwise, you'll go careening off across the sand over on the right-hand side. And this is now coming up to the corkscrew, which is the corner that everybody likes to talk about. And you're coming up here in fourth gear, and you're waiting until you get to about there, braking and dropping into either second or first, you want to be turning in just about on that point and then accelerate. Of course, none of this corner, you can't see any of it when you're in the car. And when you're trying to do it at speed, it's even more difficult. Here, you want to turn in, and you want to be just down on this corner, let the car drift wide, looking over here on the right-hand side for the one marker, dropping a gear, again, down on the inside there, accelerating. And now we're going down to the final turn of the track. Between the 1 and the 2, dropping down into first gear, turning in again. You want to be just on the inside here and accelerating so you go back over the line. And that's a sort of where you're thinking. And the whole thing is about moving the weight of the car. Because if I'm accelerating, the weight's over the back wheels, so I can't steer very well. If I'm braking, the car weight's over the front wheels, so I can't turn very well. So the whole thing is, it's always a juggle between what is it you want the car to do. Do you want it to turn? Do you want it to accelerate? Or do you want it to brake? It can only do one of those three things properly at any point in time. So the entire time you're racing around the track, what you're trying to do is balance those three forces between braking, accelerating, and turning. And that's how we sort of do this thing. So try and do this a little bit quicker. Again, this isn't like super fast, but it'll give you a little bit better idea of how this actually looks while you're running it at a bit of speed. So I'm coming up for this corner. This is turn 6. Can't see the corner, but I'm braking for it before I get to it so that I can just dig the car down in there. Now, if you dig it down too far, then you hit that sausage barrier and it breaks your front wing. Of course, you can't see any of that corner, and that's the end of the session. But there you go. Gives you an idea of how we get around this course.
That was some fantastic insight, Ian. Thank you for that. I think that really drives home what people find frustrating but also challenging about this course. There's a lot of those blind corners that what are you going to do? You got to really have come prepared to the racetrack in order to make this track happen tonight for you. And I really appreciate your insight, and good luck in your qualifying, and we'll check in with some other folks here as well.
Good stuff.
We've got Jeff Torbeck is warming up his tires, it looks like, going around the current. These are all out laps here. These are going to be their driver's ability to kind of try to warm up the tires, wear them out a little bit, take it a little easy around the first lap, and then that's when they really start getting into it. They've got 15 minutes to lay down a flying lap. So what we'll do here to kind of bring that home for the viewers is bring up a timing tower. On the left-hand side, you will see a rolling, basically, results poll of everybody's best time as they go through. Now, mind you, we can see them all individually because of the iRacing service. This is one of the benefits of being virtual racers, is we get to kind of watch this, virtually, but these guys are all basically driving the track at the same time right now, but they can't see each other. And this is a little different than how we normally do things, which is the open qualifying, which is kind of what made us stand a little bit differently, the Sunday Night Skippy Racing League. But the fact that we've now got 45 people gridding per race, especially on these shorter courses, is just not going to happen. So we're starting to do the closed qualifying to kind of make up for that. And I just want to say a quick shout out to Jenny. Looking forward to watching the race tonight, as are we. Team Running on Empty is in the house tonight. Good to see. You guys always bring it strong for Chris Herrera and James Hauser, and we're happy to see you guys watching this evening. So Max, who do you, if you had to pick a podium for tonight, who do you suppose is going to be up there?
Of course I gotta root for my dad, but
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But if you
like,
didn't
I don't
have
know.
to, let's just say you didn't have to root for your dad.
Yeah, but I have to. But I don't know. It looks like um um. Oh, my mind's just completely blank. 1 second. I forgot completely what I was gonna say. That is
That's
really
fine.
annoying.
It happens to me all the time.
Um, um, no! Failed! There's Chris Herrera. Chris Herrera did very
Okay,
well
so
last year.
team running on empty. We just talked about team running on empty. We do have Jenny in the house
Yep.
tonight already representing. We're focusing here on Chris Herrera. He has not set a time officially yet, but we're focusing in on him. And you can see him kind of sliding off the track here. It depends on the track for how tight the off-track penalties are, and it's driven by an algorithm. Obviously, it's not kind of subjective like you would see in other racing series. But you can see there Chris kind of going off the track a little bit. I got to imagine that that is going to invalidate his time for this qualifying lap. That may be why you don't see him having laid down an official time as of yet.
Well, I'm looking at the not the timing tower, the standings or results or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Carl Drunky is so far starting first.
Yeah, Carl, always a fast driver. I mean, you can't ever count him out. He's got a 1:37.352 right now, which is a full half second ahead of the second place of Justin Rebello.
On my screen, it says 1:36.209.
Oh, 1:30. Oh, okay. Well, that my information may be a little off there because that's significantly faster.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, never mind. I was looking at his practice time. Oops. 1:37.195.
Well, either way, we do have a lot of shuffling going on as we're talking here. Pete Mobron has taken over that second spot. Carl retains the pole position for the moment. We do have a little less than 10 minutes left, so there's plenty of time. Justin Rebello, as we're talking here, takes the second spot back from Pete, so that's good to see. Jonathan Dance currently in fourth. Jason Bice with a great time sitting there in fifth, who's sitting ahead of James Hauser right now in seventh, in addition to Chris Herrera. Edwin Viorino sets the hot lap now for the qualifying session at 1:37.082. So Edwin back in the house. He's he and Christian, of course, from Across Racing, always a threat.
Yep. They were very, very quick, the two of them.
Check in here with Jason Bice, or I'm sorry, there we go, there's Jason Bice. No, that's Jonathan Dance. Times are moving faster than I can keep up with them. Carl Dronke takes back Christian. I should probably just hold back and wait to make announcements here. Christian Perez takes over the pole with a 1:36.776. That's going to put our friend Jason Bice back in seventh. There's some shuffling happening back further in the field. Justin Rebello takes over the fourth position from James Hauser. Don Parks takes over the ninth spot. Joe Zubovich down there in the 29th. A lot of people working their way up the grid as we go. I'd like to just give a shout out to Tyler Kirchman. Haven't seen him in a while. I think he's been on holiday for a bit. It's good to see him back. He's currently sitting in the 26th position. Mike Bowers, we haven't talked about him much. He just sets a 6th best time for the evening so far, as Edwin Viorino has exited the session, it looks like. Edwin and Christian currently sitting 1 and 2 for across racing. Jason Bice takes back the 6th position as Chris Herrera takes over the 5th.
Wait, did you say that Edwin left the session?
Yeah, it looks like Christian and Edwin may have reset, or I don't know if they left the session, but they definitely have reset. It looks like Carl's going to do the same as well. Christian has set the pole, Carl in 2nd, Edwin in 3rd. That's going to leave Justin, Chris, and James out there as the Jason Bice is also reset and or what they're up to. Looks like a lot of people are kind of happy with where they're at, so they're just going to hold tight. With notable exceptions, Chris Herrera in 5th, James Hauser in 6th. Mike Bowers in 9th, still on the track. Don Parks in 11th. Thomas Fotos in 13th. These guys are all still out there trying to lay down some times. Does not look like Keith Lee, Peter Nodwell, Jay Shallington, who I believe is new. Welcome, Jay. Carrington Wilmer, oldie but a goodie, and Darwin Romero all have not set a qualifying time at the moment. But they will round out the field of 45, which we have set the limit at, so we have met our limit for the evening. As Chris Herrera goes around, as Frank calls for a time to strike. Or a time to do donuts.
Wow, Chris. He's just doing donuts.
Whatever's appropriate. By the way, Samuel Bridges, the old school Mac, running in 20th currently. Fantastic to see.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Chris Herrera who was doing donuts at the end of last race?
That, well, he may have been. I know Christian may have was as well.
Oh yeah, Christian Perez, off-roader.
So James Hauser still out, Don Parks. We still have 3.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying time, but there's just not a lot of people still out running laps. Looks like Don Parks, Thomas Fotos, Paul Bachler. In the 16, we haven't talked about him much tonight either, but glad to see Paul back out here. Lyndon McMurphy as well. Walter Collada. His team full fuel strategy with Pete, who's currently sitting 8th. Jeffrey Decker, I would say a relative newcomer, sets the 19th best qualifying spot there. Samuel Bridges still out on the course in 22nd. Jake Ashe from A&W Racing running in 34th. Slick looking car there. Darren Chernick making his way around in the 35th grid position. Rich Butler. I'm digging that paint scheme right there. Rich always brings it strong with the paint schemes.
Yes, he does.
I don't know. Someone's going to have to explain Joe Zubovich's paint scheme to me. I feel like that's an inside joke, and I'm not tracking. But it looks fantastic either way. Good on him. Well, we're approaching 2 minutes left in the qualifying session. I don't see Ian out there anymore, buddy.
leave the session? No, he's still in. Yeah, I don't know where he went.
I don't know if my timing's off or if people are just kind of giving up.
He's still in the race, it looks like. It doesn't say he disconnected. He's sitting in 30th.
Chicane! Sorry, I got a request. We had a viewer request for me to yell chicane.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, yeah, there's
Tradition.
not a lot of people left out. We got Walter, James, Samuel, and Darren remaining with 1 minute left for them to go out and set their flying lap. Unfortunately, in Skip Barber, we do not have different tire compounds, so they cannot put on the softer tires to try for a faster lap. As much as everybody wants to be Lewis Hamilton.
That was a good race today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was a good race for Lewis.
He lapped the whole field all the way up to position 4, I think.
And he still wanted to get the different tires on. He still was unhappy. Need those bonus points, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's exactly what it was. He's after that 1 extra bonus point for fastest lap.
Good
Well,
on him.
the clock is ticking down to 1-0. Time is up.
That's it. Everybody's done. All right. Well, let's, in that case, take a look at what we've got for the grid. Looks like Christian Perez. Congratulations to Christian on the pole with a 136.443. Carl Drunke is going to start next to him in P2. And from there on out, we'll just let you guys read. Not that everybody doesn't want to hear me call out 45 names. Great to see Tyler Kirchman back. He's sitting there in the 14th spot. Justin K up there as well. Awesome.
Guys, just a quick one. We have actually us doing a rolling start tonight by something. I think it's a bit of a mistake. So we'll do a whole lap before the pace car peels off, and away we go. So that's going to be a different, interesting thing.
I actually like that. This is fantastic. Let's do this. Rolling start.
So,
this is
very so now you can read 5 names.
Wait, we're doing a rolling start? I thought. What?
All right. Well, you can see here we've got a field of 45 Skippies, and it's going to be quite a thing to see as they go down into turn 1. If we're doing a rolling start, though, we do have the pace car, or the safety car, as you guys would say in F1, out there.
The pace car's just disappeared, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, looks like everybody's grid, or most people, -3. So it looks like we'll be starting with 42 drivers, unless they're starting from the pits.
Right, just keep it in a straight line. Okay.
Listen into the,
Just take it nice and easy. Don't swerve. Don't try to put heat into your tires. Just survive.
That's Jason Bice there, one of the admins.
Justin K, you got to go, or whoever this is right in front of me, you got to go.
I'm stuck in neutral.
Well,
It's chaos back here.
And several tails.
Get off 10.
I just had this really weird thought. What if they had like this percentage that they added to the game that the pace car could crash? Like you get a really low percent and it would crash.
I mean, that is definitely an option. I'm curious to see if anybody wants to attempt driving. So for anybody who hasn't been in the iRacing service, you cannot crash into the pace car. It is, for all intents and purposes, transparent. But here we go down the, we'll pull up the track map, as well as the timing tower.
Wait, imagine if you had the option to drive the pace car.
I would be all over that if I could.
I think everybody would. But it would be a bad idea because everybody might crash.
This is true. This is the corkscrew that Ian was talking about there, as the cars make their way through that. It does look like they're coming up here on the final turn.
Pace car went in.
And green, 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 they're off. Christian gets a fantastic jump going through. We got 42 drivers of Sunday Night Skippy in their Skip Barber Formula 2000s making their way around turn 1. Nope. Although it does look like we're having some internet issues there. So far, so good. Christian Perez working his way out to a 0.6 second lead on the rest of the field, and honestly, with the rolling start, it seemed to have helped a little bit. There seems to be a gap between most folks.
But not a huge one, but just like one that they won't all crash into each other like at the start, kind of.
Exactly. Yeah, I think pace is ultimately going to end up being the deciding factor, but very curious to see that actually seemed to work pretty well.
I didn't even know we're gonna have a rolling start until I heard one of the drivers say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're having a rolling start."
We do have some very close racing though so far. Looks like Justin Kay and Rich Butler may have had a little bit of a false start there. They're a little further back, but Walter Collada is really doing his best to make a move here. He's got Chris Herrera and Edwin Villarino directly in front of him. He and the 79 of Justin Rebello, James Hauser right behind him, and teammate Pete Broughton following them up. Mike Bowers has got a front row seat to this battle. It's another 1.3 seconds back to Jason Bice after Mike Bowers here. So this is the tail end, I would say. Of that lead group, although Christian Perez and Carl Dronke have kind of worked themselves out. Whoops. A little bit of an issue there. We'll ride on board with Carl. Riding with Christian. Now, another reminder. So I understand that we may have some new viewers here. Apologies to the folks who have listened to me say this once or 100 times if they've heard me say it once, but it's a 40-minute race, as you can see up there in the top left.
Ian just went off.
And Ian has gone off the track.
That's annoying.
Oof. He's got his low right sides in the dirt there. Not too bad though. believe he'll survive. Anyway, this will be a 40-minute race. There is a forced pit stop. A forced pit stop, which is different than the public Skip Barber races that you'll see, because of the limits that we put on the fuel load. This is looking back from Christian Perez. And you can see just how close they get as they come up to the corkscrew.
Exciting.
And we'll try to listen in on the common frequency when we can.
I'm having really bad technical difficulties on my side, so that's annoying.
All right, Maxwell, we'll stick with you. See what you can do. You can see Christian and Carl there. Looks like Chris, Edwin, and Walter have worked themselves into a 3-driver pack, trying to catch up with that first 2. And not too far behind them, you'll find Justin, James, Pete, Mike, Jason, Jonathan. It looks like Jack is in there as well, Jack Moffitt. So this race is far from over. Let's pull up the intervals here real quick. So this is intervals, this is not gap, this is simply time between drivers. As you can see, Bridges working his way past a few drivers. We'll focus in on him here for a second. He's able to make a few passes. Carrington Wilmer working his way up to the 29th spot. A little further back. Chicane. Sorry, that was random. Also a request though.
Always getting the yellow chicane requests apparently. Twice in one race.
Oh man. That was Victor Santos holding on to it. Just barely. Well done, Victor. Let's check back in with the leaders. We've got Christian and Carl. 2.4 seconds now back to Chris, Edwin, and Walter. And then to the foursome there of Justin, James, Pete, and Mike. It's actually not that far back to Jason, Jonathan, and Jack Moffitt, although they have gapped themselves just a little bit. Looks like we may have a battle further back here for that 25th position. Looks like Ruben Ray in the 78 is trying to go around the 66 of Steve Dewar. Steve's going to give. And they're going to spread themselves back out. It does look like Jake Ashe has crashed. Let's see if we can't see. Appears he was on his own. Coming down the corkscrew. No contact. He'll be on his way here shortly. No issues there. Check back in with the leaders. Man alive. That's some close racing. Carl is right on Christian's gearbox. And we have similar racing here. This is on board with Pete. He's looking forward at James Hauser, who's similarly matched with Justin Rebello. And this is that turn that Ian was talking about, that blind turn up the hill. You just hope it sticks. This is James Hauser looking forward. This is one car up from what we were just looking at. And you can see the marbles flying.
Nah, that's cool, Justin. I know where to go.
Sounds like we got some communication there with lap traffic. Kay is back in the pits for the time being. And Christian Perez is going to cross the start-finish line here to start lap 7. And it looks like the groups are kind of working themselves out, as we would expect. Right on board with Jason Bice. Actually, you know what? Let's look up here at Pete. Teammates with Walter Collada. He's trying to make a move desperately on Justin Rubello here on the 79 car. It's some very tight racing that's been happening for quite a while. Great to see. Look back here at Jeffrey Decker. This is for the 17th spot. Although Lyndall McMurphy is able to take that blind corner just a touch faster, and he's going to leave. Jeffrey is an afterthought for the time being. Paul Bachler and Thomas Fotos going side by side through the corkscrew. That is tough to do. That is tough to do. The reason you haven't heard Max in a little bit here is he's having some technical difficulties, so we'll try to get that fixed. We'll get that fixed as soon as we can. And you're looking back here, Jeffrey Decker and Victor Santos having a great battle. Wheel to wheel through turn 2. Holy cow. That is some great racing here. Great clean racing. This is for the 19th spot. I'm sorry, the 18th spot. This is what you get with Sunday Night Skippy right here. This is what I love about this league. Clean racing, hard racing, all the way through the field. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Fantastic stuff. Oh, who's that? The 355. Is that Thomas Fotos off the track? Let's see if we can see what happened there. Ah, that's that blind corner. They get you every time, but no contact. He's back on the... Oh, although he did apparently lose a rear wing. I don't know what happened there. He must have made contact that we did not see.
Driving with that rear wing as well.
You're driving with a rear wing? Oh, there is Ian. And there's Ian. Sans rear wing.
So now here's the thing that you got to think about. We have to pit, and when we pit, we get a fast repair.
That is true.
but we can't pit until we need fuel, because if we pit too early, then we'll have to pit again.
Yeah, so it's about halfway that you kind of expect to see the pit window open, maybe a little sooner. Typically, and this is anecdotally, I would say 18 minutes plus or minus is when you see the first people start to pit who are trying to undercut. 18 minutes on the race, so another 4 minutes yet. That's
So I have
not
to
say,
fight another 4 minutes without a flipping rear wing.
right. And that's not to say you can't pit before that. And I don't know everybody's individual, you know, fuel. What is happening here? I don't know everybody's individual fuel strategy or burn. But speaking of which, it does look like there's some fuel conservation going into play here, or that Chris just closed the gap there. We were not paying attention to this. Carl has taken the lead from Christian. Chris Herrera now firmly in third, and we've got quite a battle now for the lead. As you can see, Edwin and Walter, they're not that far back from them. So this has become very interesting very quickly. Nobody has really separated themselves. We're used to seeing at least one or two drivers separate themselves from the field, but that just isn't happening today. As they come through the corkscrew, the top 5 are all right there. Now it is a little further back to James Hauser, but I think that you'd be silly to count out anybody in that second group. You're looking at James, Justin, Pete, Mike, and Jason. No, I'm sorry, Mike. I think Jason's a little further back now, but it would be silly to count them out. Yeah, they're all right there. Even Jack. Jack's not that far off the pace there. There is about a 3.7 second gap between that front group and the second group. We'll check back in here with Carl. There's some pretty close racing going on. It does look like Jonathan Dance is in the pits. Ruben Ray is in the pits. Jeff Torbeck has already pit earlier, as has Rich Butler and Scott Dorkins. I do not expect those to stick. We're still a little bit early.
Flipping out.
Thanks, Robert.
You can see some racing going on here with the top 5. That second group is loving this right now. This is giving them look at that second group, so organized, in line. And that first group is just battling for position. That's going to give them some opportunity to close that gap. We'll go back to gap here on the timing tower. And I'm sorry you have to listen to me so much. Our broadcast partner Max has had some technical difficulties, so we're waiting on that to get resolved. In the meantime, you'll have to listen to me.
Welcome to Megan this evening.
Megan is preoccupied. Unfortunately, she is looking forward though to making it back. She really enjoyed her time when she was able to make it the past couple of weekends, and I know she's missed it. I know she's missed it.
Scott.
Got some great actual battle back here. This is quite a group. So right now you're looking at the 28 of Victor Santos, Samuel Bridges, Jeffrey Decker, Sean Trediak, and Paul Bachler. And I guess Adam Wright there, also in that group. Oh man, who is that? That's the 186 of Sean Trediak. Getting a little loose, but not going to lose that much time. That's some great racing happening back here.
Wait, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, Max, we got you, bud.
Yes,
Awesome.
I'm back. After
Does
two
look like
windows
Tyler
updates.
Kirchman and Jonathan Dockery are in the pits, as is Samuel Bridges and Adam Wright. So they're all going to be trying to undercut. You can see the pit window opening there. And as we start our pit, since the pit window's open, we're going to bring up a data set for pit lap. So you can see when everybody decided to pit. Noting that lap 12, lap 13 is about halfway for this race. Well, it's good to have you back, Max. We've had some great pack racing here. Actually, the competition for the front, Chris Herrera is now running second, by the way. I'm sure Team Running on Empty is super happy to see that. He's made some moves to get up there right behind Christian. And it's curious to see. He's got his teammate James Hauser currently in 5th. Walter Collada has just pit. So you've got Christian Perez in 1st. His teammate in 3rd in Edwin Viorino. And then you've got Chris Herrera in 2nd. And his teammate James Hauser in 5th. Just behind that, you can kind of see him trailing there just a little bit as Chris tries to go wheel to wheel through turn 1. Christian's going to send it a little bit wide. So we do have some team competition and strategy coming into play here. This is going to be really interesting to see what they decide to do. Christian and Edwin, I feel, are like on a whole nother level when it comes to team strategy. They have themselves figured out. They know what they want to do going into it. They communicate very well. Let's see if Chris and James can figure out something, just something, to stop the domination from across racing.
Yeah.
Pitching this lap. Pitching
Wait,
this lap.
everything just crashed. Oh my god. Okay, it looks like I'll be back in another 5-10 minutes trying to get everything up and running again. Sorry about this.
No problem. And it looks like I unfortunately missed it. I was looking at other things. Jenny reminds me Chris was leading for a bit. So good on Chris. He had the lead. Either way, this is great to see. You love to see it. And we do have now diverging pit strategies going on. It does look like Chris Herrera and James, they did communicate. So Christian and Edwin, across racing, stay out. And then you have Chris Herrera and James Hauser of Running on Empty going into pit. That's going to leave Carl Dronke, a free agent at the moment, out there to run with across racing. Jack Moffitt of the Voyagers and Jason Bice of Team Undecided do not have their teammates near them. They're going to remain out for the moment. All right. Coming back off here, we've got Chris Herrera behind Walter Collada. Let's see how this shakes out. Let's take a look at the top 8 currently for pit strategy. Walter Collada hit a little bit earlier than everybody else, so everybody's made their pit stop. The top 6 currently have not pit. This is what we're looking at right now. The top 6 and Paul Bockler is sitting there in 10th. Still have to pit. Look back here at Jonathan Dockery. He's got Victor Santos in his sights with Ruben Ray right behind them. And a little bit further back there, we've got Adam Wright and Sean Trediak going to battle. We are really close. Edwin, Carl make their way in. That's going to leave Christian Perez out on his own. He is solo. He is running on his own. The 58 car has decided to go one more lap. Now, this is not the first time that Edwin and Christian have attempted this. So we will see how it goes. We'll look back here. You've got Walter Collada, Chris Herrera, Edwin Viorino, James Hauser. Folks, this is a 2-team race to the finish. Christian Perez out on his own, still has to pit. He is a half lap ahead of everybody else. If you can see that on the track map there, it does. He ducks in. So this is going to be it. Christian Perez ducks in. That's gotta be so painful driving that slow. You can see the 77 there of I believe that's Jake Ashe. He's making his way out for A&W Racing. Can they do it? So there's Christian Perez. You can see on the track map there. There's Christian exiting pit road. There's Walter Collada. There's Chris Herrera and Edwin Viorino and James Hauser. They're going to be right behind. Oh, Chris tries to send it inside. Not going to happen. Christian still has, looks like 2 seconds. Nearly 2 seconds. So now the question becomes, does Edwin try to break it up? Do they work together to go back up and try to catch Christian? Who knows? There's Christian. And there's the competition. We'll listen in to the drivers.
Thank you.
There really is not a lot of talk with the drivers at the moment.
Yeah, not a ton. That's probably fine. We've got some furious competition going on here. It's not going to do them any good to compete with each other right now. They got 2.5 seconds now. Christian is just pulling away from that second group.
I'm staying inside here.
This is working to their benefit. 2.5 seconds now, the difference. Dang. So Chris has worked his way up to the front of the pack, and now it's on his shoulders. This is Chris Herrera's pack to lead to Christian Perez. He's got 2.6 seconds. He's got 11 and a half minutes to do it.
Just giving you the inside, sorry.
Can he do it? That's all that there is to know. So Christian Perez, Chris Herrera, Edwin Viorino, Walter Collada, James Hauser. That's going to be your front group. A little further back here, about 3.5 seconds, so Carl Dronke, Pete Morbron.
Hey, Jeffrey, we're looking for a little room up here after the camp.
They got Justin Ribello, Mike Bowers.
No problem,
Jason
guys.
Bice, Jack Moffitt, Jonathan Dance right behind him, with Tyler Kirchman, Lyndall McMurphy, Don Parks, Jonathan Dockery,
Sorry, Walter, you disappeared for a second, so just be aware.
Victor Santos,
Noted.
Paul Bachler, Carrington Wilmer. Carrington Wilmer working up 23 positions right now.
Staying inside.
Fantastic job by Carrington. That is by far the most positions gained
Thank you.
on the evening. And while we talk about that, since we don't need the pit laps anymore, let's look at the overall gain. You see there, we're focused on Carrington with plus 23 from his grid position. We got Sean Trediak, Adam Wright, a little further back, Steve Dewar, Jeff Torbeck, Thomas Fotos, Oliver Hartley, Andrew Cole, Antoine Decache, J.R. Hoops, Jake Ashe, and Ian Worrell will round out your top 30. Well, let's look back up here. Christian still has a 2.6 second gap on the rest of the field. Although he is approaching some lap traffic here. It looks like
Oh, sorry.
Rich Butler, Ian Worrell, and Jake Ashe are right ahead of him. So this may be the difference. Now, that being said,
Thought I was going to.
Chris Herrera, Edwin Viorino, Walter Collada, and James Hauser also need to work their way around the back markers here. And it does look like Max is gone for the evening, unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties. Great to have you, Max. Sorry that did not work out. So Christian Perez works his way around Rich Butler, as does the rest of the field. Oh! Christian Perez in the dirt! What's that gonna do? It does look like the rest of the track is still muddy. How is that possible? He's still pulling away. Wow. I just don't even know. This guy's dominant.
Christian.
Well. You can see as we approach the 6-minute remaining mark, we've got quite a race going on here. There's nothing that Christian can do wrong at this point. He is gone. This is Walter Collada looking back. This is the second chase group. This is all they have. They're gonna make their way around Jake Ashe. Right along with Walter here. But honestly, that gap just keeps either staying the same or getting bigger. Oh, Chris Herrera's gonna lock the brakes going around turn 1. You have some great racing happening back here, though. Victor Santos is 0.16 seconds behind Jonathan Dockery, trying to make the move. Jonathan Dockery holding strong. A little further up, Justin Rubello. Oops. Was my mistake. Justin Rubello holding on to that. Position for Mike Bowers. Carrington Wilmer continuing to make his way up the field. He's plus 23 right now. He is trying to make his way around the number 9 of Tyler Kirchman from Gamecock GP. He does have Adam Wright. Just behind him, man, catches that dirt. That is so tough. That is so tough. You get those outside wheels, you just send it a little wide. Not much you can do about that. Still a great showing from Carrington. A little further back there, though, Steve Dewar, Jeff Torbeck. Both these guys up quite a few positions themselves. No slouches. This is a tough, tough track. Jeff Torbeck in the 42. Sean Trediak in the 186. They are trading barbs back and forth. The gap is tightening up front. If you were paying attention, they're down to 2.8. That being said, we've got 3 minutes left. It just isn't happening. It just is not happening like they want it to. Let's take a look at the lap times for Chris. They're just going back and forth way too much as Edwin cutting it on the inside. Chris is going to take it back. Oh! Wow. What a move. Edwin backs off. He's going to go off the spot. James is going to sneak on in there. But that's just going to give 2.7 seconds back to Christian. That still remains as we approach 2 minutes remaining. Holy cow! Edwin Viorino around. He is out. He's gone. That's it. What happened there? I was not even paying attention.
James is apologizing to Edwin on the radio, so something happened up there.
They touched. That was it. Edwin's out. Christian's on his own. He's down to 2.1 seconds now. That's it. That's all he's got. 2.1 seconds. We've probably got one lap left after this, I'm guessing. I don't know. This is a timed race. Tough to say for sure. there's still some great battles to be had here. As we look into with Mike Bowers eyeing that 7th and 6th spot from Justin and Pete. All right, we're gonna check in here. There's 1 minute left. 1 minute left. This is your leader, Christian Perez, as he comes down to take the final turn. He has 1.3 seconds on the rest of the field. This is going to be the white flag lap, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is all there is. All the marbles. You cannot have another go. There is no green, white, checkered. There's no other opportunity. You either win it or you're happy with what you got. Here we go. Christian Perez, 1.3 seconds. Chris Herrera, James Hauser, Walter Collada in trail. 1 second. That's what they're down to now. .9. Here comes Chris. And Christian. There's Christian, there's Chris, there's James, there's Walter. .7, .6. Last turn. This is it. This is all you got. No other opportunities here, bud. Christian makes the final turn. He's gonna win it. Christian Perez wins once again. Chris Herrera second. Oh, Chris Herrera, James Hauser, Walter Collada, Carl Dronke will finish in 5th with Pete Mobron, Justin Ribello, and Mike Bowers rounding out your top 8. Here comes Jason Bison 9th with Jonathan Dance in 10th. Fantastic run, fellas. Jake Moffitt, Linda McMurphy with some style points. Oh, that's sorry. That was, yeah. There's Linda McMurphy. Victor Santos, Jonathan Dockery, Paul Bachler. Here comes Santos. Across the line now. There's Dockery. That's Scott Dorkins right there. Rich Butler. There's Paul Bachler for the 16th spot. Oh, man, great run there at the end. Holy cow. Photos, Dorbeck, Trediak. Adam Wright, Carrington Wilmer up 21 spots. Steve Dewar. Andrew Cole, JR Hoops, Oliver Hartley. Samuel Bridges, Joe Zubovich. Who did I miss? Stockdale's on his way in. Barry Stockdale. That'll be it. Well, what a race.
Well, that was something else. I'm sitting upside down right now.
What? Yes, you are.
And I think I'm missing a couple of wheels somehow. My pit crew told me that I was leaking fluids.
My disease from Saturday night, Jason, did you?
And I had wheel damage.
I believe you and
Yeah, my car's on fire. That's pretty cool.
that's all right.
Yeah, on the rolling start, I was second to last, I think, and we were a good 5-10 seconds off the entire pack.
Yeah, what happened back there?
Somebody didn't.
There's about 5 collisions with different cars,
The guy in front of me didn't start. He got stuck on neutral. And a bunch of guys just crashed behind me because I didn't move over.
Yeah, and then someone spun. I think it was the Corsair or someone.
All right.
We all had to wait for that.
We'll let them figure that out. They clearly just working it out between themselves. No reason to listen to that. So let's
I'm
see.
just saving the replay right now, and as soon as I get that done, I'll jump over and try and get back on the mic, and I'll see if I can get Max to come down and join me.
Perfect. That'd be great. Well, let's take a look at the results here real quick. Congratulations once again, as always, to Christian Perez. It feels like as always. On the victory, Chris Herrera, great run there. P2, James Hauser rounding out the podium. We're going to have Walter Collada in 4th, Carl Dronke in 5th, Pete Mobrotin in 6th, Justin Ribello in 7th, Mike Bowers in 8th, Jason Bice in 9th, and Jonathan Dance in 10th. Great finish. Jonathan Dance is always fast, and it's good to see him up there in 10th and leading the way for Adequate Racing. I will say running on empty had a strong showing, not only in viewership but on the track tonight. Though I think they probably took the night. Edwin, obviously, not the finish that he would have wanted, but that looked like an unfortunate wheel touch between him and James. I don't think that was intentional, but I guess hopefully maybe we can get their perspective here in a little bit. And we'll run through the rest of the results for everybody to see. Apologies, this is not an indication that anybody's results are less than worthy of me reading, but nobody wants to hear me go through the entire field. But I just want to say that was a great racing. I just speaking off the cuff here, that rolling start I think was huge. I think we should probably implement that going forward. That's just me, but I think that seemed to save a lot of trouble in the beginning of the race by spreading things out just a little bit. As long as people get used to it and understand the rules, I think that there was probably a few folks there that probably got caught unawares or just weren't expecting it or not familiar with the rolling starts. But moving forward, I think that may be an option with these large fields. But yeah, it did seem like that solved a lot of the crowding issues up front. But that's just my opinion. I wasn't racing. I was just watching it with the rest of everybody else. So, we'll see.
I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, it seemed to work quite well, but people will need to get used to it. I think it was a surprise to everybody. I mean, like everybody.
Right.
But quick shout out, congrats to Carl Dronke, who had the fastest lap of the race, which was on his last lap.
A regular Lando there. Well, let's
565. I'm just going to go grab Max. I'll be right back.
Sounds great. Well, in the meantime, we'll pull in Christian, who obviously was able to win the race once again, to the surprise of nobody. But you had a little competition there right at the end, Christian. You had a comfortable 2.5 second, 3 second lead. Your teammate got taken out right at the last, with a couple laps to go. What was going through your head there, going into the final laps?
Good evening, Chris and Ian. Yeah, I was just running easy because I was hoping that Edwin overtake Chris Herrera, and then I will lift a little. Edwin will chase my draft, and that was my idea to take 1 and 2. But I think that Edwin has a little bit problem with Hauser. I saw the replay and Hauser just close a little bit, I think. Maybe the stewards have to check that. And the race was the first part of the race was just to save fuel. I knew that if I save, I can just pull away for the second for Chris or Cal, that I thought that he has a bad pit. The entry is incredible. The entry of the pit in this circuit is just great. You can gain a lot of time there, and on the exit too. So yeah, a little bit sad for Edwin because I know that he was doing a great race today for the chance of podium. That would be great for the team, but shit happens. Next track will be much better for him. Well, we will see what the stewards say about that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we heard just from folks that there were some apologies going on, but at the same time, that did look like he got a little squeezed. But we'll see ultimately what the decision is from the stewards. We're looking right now at the replay. It was on lap 20, I believe, right at the end, where you went off the track going uphill toward the corkscrew. I thought for sure that was it for you. I thought for sure your race was done.
In what lap?
You went on that left-hand
22.
turn. You went off the track, and you were kind of riding in the dirt there for a little bit, and I was like, that's it. Chris is gonna catch you. But
did you prove the Skippy dirt? It's amazing. Yeah.
I think you gained time.
Nah.
I think you gained.
No. Because I have the delta. I think that in that lap I lose like 3/10 or 4 doing that. But
okay.
No, don't worry. No problem. It's fun.
So, what do you think of the track as a whole? There, do you like Laguna Seca?
No.
Okay. Okay then.
I like
right?
like the sacacorchos. I don't know how to say that in English. In Spanish, it's sacacorchos. That the
corkscrew. The corkscrew.
The corkscrews. Yes, that. The corkscrew. So that's it. It's an unbelievable turn. It's a great turn, but I mean, I don't really like that the whole track. So it's a great result for me. How I said, a little bit sad for Edwin, but next track, I'm sure that he will win.
Excellent.
Nice.
I've got someone here who also told me right at the beginning he didn't really like this track.
No.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
After technical difficulties, I wasn't here half the race or most of the race. How did you like the race?
A little boring. I won't lie, because when you have to save fuel, it's just stay on the track, save fuel, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. You have to control the pace. You have to control the guys behind. But well, I was hoping that Chris and Edwin catch us. Cal was saving fuel too, so I really don't care if Chris and Edwin and the guys behind them catch us, because I knew that I saved a lot of more than them, and I don't. It's not will. Just gain a lot of time on the pit, so it's a little boring race for me. I won't lie.
That's a good
Strategy.
Sorry, what?
So just a lot of strategy, and
Yes.
in my understanding, you don't like the track.
No. When I don't like the track, I just boring. Just to do laps, saving fuel, laps.
Well, you did really well to control the race from in front. The only thing you didn't get was the fastest lap.
I know. I did a 35.5, but I did a fucking off track. Oh, sorry. And well, that was my last chance. I
Yeah.
did that lap. Was my best lap, I think, in Laguna Seca. I did an obstacle. I said, come on,
Yeah.
no more fast laps.
Your own fastest lap that counted was a 1:36
Yeah,
287.
shitty lap.
And Carl Dronke on his last lap, he was doing a Lando Norris on you. He did a
Yeah.
1:35 650.
Oh, fucking Carl. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like him. Yeah.
Yes, but I know one thing,
Oh,
that
no.
Edwin can do one lap, because I know that he will do 34. Easy for Edwin. 34, yeah. With
Oh,
one
and I
hand.
must apologize.
One hand,
That
yes, of
was
course.
not Carl Dronke's lap. That was actually Chris Herrera's lap. Chris
Yeah.
Herrera did a
Because
1:35
he get
650.
the draft on the final lap, and he was, I guess, on fire because I was lifting.
I see.
Yes, I see. 35.6. Fucking Chris.
Yeah, you did a 1:36 559 on your last lap, and he did a 1:35 650. But that's a pretty stonking lap. I mean, that's a heck of a time.
It's all right, I guess. That's fine.
Oh yeah. I'll go do that. I'll go do that now, right?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
I don't really like the track to go to the fastest lap every lap. I just don't have that confidence. So when I see that off track on that lap that I knew that was my better, I said, come on.
Oh, not bad. So we've got Donington coming up next week. The national layout. What do you think of that track?
Well,
is it
good?
Boring?
Good. No, it's not. It's not. I have trained in the track already, because here we have a championship that it's called Liver Cup. So
Right.
we have a final race that it's all on in. Who wins the championship. So yes, I have training a little bit, you know.
Good stuff. And then of course after Donington is Nürburg.
What?
Nürburg.
What? I don't know what that means.
The Nürburgring.
Nürburgring. Nürburgring sucks. I won't race that. Last season, neither Edwin, neither me race, and I think this season, of course, Edwin will not race, and me neither, I think.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Easy drop week for you.
Yeah,
that's
that's the drop.
Well,
maybe Edwin with this result, he should race.
That's
but
true.
I don't think so. I will convince.
Excellent.
So.
Good stuff. Well, Christian, again, awesome job, mate. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Donington, and enjoy your off week at Nürburgring. I guess we'll see you. We'll see you then.
Okay. Ciao, guys. See you in Donington.
Ciao.
Race.
All right, let's bring in Jonathan Dockery. He ended up solid. Sorry, I lost it here. I thought he was 15th. Yeah, 15th for Team Storm. Great finish there for the team, and curious to see what his opinion was. You ended up, I think, based on what I'm showing here, dropping about 4 positions in total, which probably not the show you were looking for. But
no. Jonathan dropped all the way down to 25th at one point in time. Must be when he went in for fuel.
Oh, he was all the way back up.
Oh,
okay.
And then clawed his way back up to 15th, to finish 15th.
I'd take that any day. So what was your thoughts on the race there then, Jonathan?
So most of the guys hate the track. I love it. Like, it's probably my third favorite track. I actually like it a lot. But, whenever I was coming into road and racing the Mazda, it ran here a lot. So I like the track. Had a little help from Walter and got a little quicker, and it was a good race. The rolling start was pretty cool.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
So surprising.
I started behind Jason Bice and latched onto him and stayed with him for a while. And then I spun in the corkscrew. And I thought I'd hurt the car, so I pitted a couple laps early, took enough fuel for the end. It was fun. So
That's what happened.
yeah, I like the track. I pitted early. I knew I could make it on fuel and figured the car was hurt. So watched the replay. Turns out it wasn't, but it was a great race.
It's always hard to tell, with the tracks because you get hit and you immediately think that the car's buggered in
I
some
didn't
way,
get
shape,
hit.
or
I
form.
self spun and I heard the car land whenever I spun down into the corkscrew because sometimes you'll hear it bottom out.
Yep.
So I thought I jacked up the front wing. So but it was great. Up until that point, I was hanging on with Jason and Jack Moffitt. So that was fun.
Oh, good stuff, mate. Well, you did well to drive your way back from 25th and finish 15th. Tell us about that, the fight back.
I passed 2 cars, and most of them were passed in the pit, I think. But
So you passed 54. Let's see here. You passed 262, 28. So the ones you passed in the pit, you passed 54, 262, and 28 in the pits. But then you had to fight.
a few off tracks. I had a pretty good fight with Victor for 5 or 6 laps there.
Ruben Ray, he was with you at some point in time.
You do so much here that you can't I glance at the road to see where I'm at, compared to the car heading behind to see who's closing.
Yep,
but,
yep.
I mean, you
passed Santos
tight.
and you passed Santos in lap 17.
So I think it's turn 6 where it's the left-hand kink that has the dip down on the inside of the turn.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I think Santos might be the guy that I passed there because I followed him for 2 laps and couldn't find a way around, and I got a run on him there, and I went around him. But
right
here it's just so tight because everything's 90-degree everything, so you can't really watch names. It's just drive.
It is a bit like that.
Donington next week. I don't have it, never seen it, so that's going to be.
You're in for a treat, mate.
There you go.
And then I know y'all said we had Nuremberg after that. I'm looking forward to going there for a second time. I'm getting better. I mean, that's my second top 15 in 2 weeks. So. No,
yeah, I mean you're crushing
Last week I got wrecked. I forgot about that.
You're crushing your average finishes for the season. The last couple of weeks, so you're really pulling that average up, which is awesome to see. And it's a tough Donington, I think, is fun, but it's going to be another challenging, shorter track. And then of course Nürburgring is Nürburgring. So
well, I think the thing that helps the most is I started last season. A lot of the lower guys in the series, and they drive well, but they were struggling with speed. So I started a Discord channel about midway through last season, and I've been helping 6 or 7 drivers with that. So by me actually taking time, I run less laps now, but I'm actually helping them. And I think it's helping me to be a little more patient on the track. So it's kind of paying off. Because now I'm not overdriving the car as much because I see where they're improving and where I was struggling a little bit with consistency.
Right. Good job.
Awesome.
And I will say that I'm one of the people that has benefited from some of the assistance that Jonathan's given out. So kudos for that.
And then, like I said, my partner in crime, my teammate, wasn't here tonight, so he had a monitor problem, but hopefully he gets that fixed.
Yes, I hope so.
Well,
sure.
You represented Team Storm very well tonight, Jonathan. Just want to say congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Donington. And yeah, well done. We'll see you around, bud.
Yep. Thanks for the broadcast. Y'all do great. We'll see y'all next week.
Take care, my friend. Take care.
Thank you. Good job.
So.
Well. Yeah, Ian. So, give us your final thoughts here on how the race went. Max unfortunately had the technical difficulties. I want to get his thoughts as well after you, but you were down there on the track. I don't know if you saw anything that we didn't cover. You were unfortunately listening to us the entire time. or you know.
It's kind of interesting because I mean, I had that unfortunate spin. I was doing pretty good until then, or I was happy with how I was doing until then, and I had that unfortunate spin just after the corkscrew. I think I got a tire in the dirt and it threw me off. And I didn't, from what I could see, I didn't hit anything. But once I got back on the track and got running, I was going really slowly. And when I looked around, and because I run in VR, I can actually look out of the car at the front. I could see that my wing was damaged. So I was running with a damaged wing. And then a little while later, someone ran into the back of me, just going into the corkscrew, and took off my rear wing. So I thought, well, the car's a bit lighter now, so maybe it'll go a bit faster. Didn't really work out like that, but still, there you go. Kept it rolling.
It's a nice
But
thought, though.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's kind of cool to hear what's happening at the front, because I'm not there and I'm not seeing it. So it's for me sitting in the positions that I was in and hearing the discussion about that you were doing. And I mean, sterling job from you and Max until Max had his unfortunate issue, and I think he'll probably let us know what happened and give us some final thoughts as well in a minute. But sterling job from you, Chris, for carrying it. You did so well for the whole broadcast. It was a pleasure to listen to, and I really hope that our folks out there really enjoyed the broadcast as well. I think we're going from strength to strength from the broadcast perspective. From the league perspective, I think we're working on some interesting things to try and strengthen that out and make it even better. And manage the large number of races that we've got on the track, because incidents happen because there are so many people, and that's just how it is. But all in all, great race, very enjoyable racing, great listening to the broadcast. And I'd like Max to give his final thoughts and let us know what actually happened and see if we can fix that for next week.
Hello. What actually happened, like on the technical difficulty side, was my iRacing and my Discord kept crashing, and every time I would open it, it would just crash. And so hopefully I can get that fixed. I don't know if it was an internet problem or anything, but yeah, hopefully for next week I can get that fixed. The part that I did watch was the start, kind of. I thought that was a good start. Nobody had really crashed into anybody at the start. I thought it was pretty good, especially with the rolling start and the 44 or 43 cars on the grid. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's a great point. It was kind of a curveball and an accident from what I'm gathering on the Discord for the rolling start, and there seemed to be issues nonetheless. However, I'm gonna throw out there that might not be, if we plan that out and practice it, a terrible idea with 45 cars on a short field moving forward. Maybe I'll die on that hill, maybe I won't, but we'll see what happens. But I'm just, we got to find a way. We got to find a way to get everybody spread out so we're not killing each other internally. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And everybody here, we're making great strides as a league. This isn't one of those you have to be the cream of the crop to race. This is a developmental league. This is we want to see racing throughout the field league. This is a community-based league. This is not a we're not trying to be something that we're not and be overly competitive and stuff like that. And I just think that if there's a way to spread everybody out just a little bit on the shorter courses with the larger fields, then why not explore that a little bit? But I may be getting ahead of myself, and that's fine.
Well, we've got some other plans as well, so we'll see how it all pans out.
That's true. That's true. If we can, we've got some things in the works. We've mentioned this before in the broadcast for the F1 style qualifying and all that, and that may help things too. So this is all just theoretical anyway. But it was interesting. It was fun to watch. The race itself, I think, was great. We had a lot closer racing than we have the past 2 weeks, I would say. At least further up. We still had great racing throughout the field, but the race toward the end was was a lot more exciting. And I'm looking on the Discord here, and it looks like there was maybe some folks that got held up entering pit road because drivers in front of them were maybe a little slower on the entry than some of the faster drivers, but that's part of it, right? That's part of the wrinkle that we throw in with Sunday Night Skippy is that pit stop, and it kind of is what it is. So just want to say congratulations to all the drivers on their finishes tonight. I do believe I did not see, at least personally, anything that amounted to shenanigans. There was obviously some accidents, and I'm sure things that wish people had back, but it wasn't public, skip barber racing.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
it was all
it wasn't along those
clean,
lines. So
pretty clean.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would like to give a quick shout out. We actually have some merch. So if anybody wants a Skippy Sunday Night Skippy T-shirt, we've got an order form up in our Disco, and they can come and join in there and pick up something. And hopefully we'll have a specialty designed one coming up in the not too distant future from our own Megan.
This is true, yeah, and I probably should have mentioned that to begin the evening, and I apologize. We'll do that next race. The merchandise, Sunday Night Skippy T-shirts are coming your way in great design. I know Megan wanted to give her a shot at doing one as well, so we'll have hopefully a couple design T-shirts that are available for purchase here shortly in the Discord. Get with your loved one if you're racing, or just leave a comment with me, and I can get you hooked up if you're interested. And I know that in the future I'm gonna want a coffee mug. I'm a coffee mug guy. I love my coffee, and if we could get a SNS coffee mug, I'd be probably the happiest person in the world. So, but if I can wear an SNS T-shirt every Sunday night while I'm calling the race, then I'll also be a happy camper. So anyway, yep. Awesome. Looking forward to that. And I think we've talked everybody's ear off, if anybody's even still listening. So we'll call it a night. Just wish everybody a great week. I'm looking forward to Donington next Sunday and sharing that race with you. And until then, just stay safe, stay healthy, and best of luck. And we'll see you then. And on
all right. Good night,
behalf
everybody.
of Barefoot Racing and the Cav OK Racing Network, have a great evening. We'll see you.
Good night.